Hello and welcome. Welcome to Cutting Edge, the show at the very intersection of geopolitics, strategy, and technology. Today we have with us Mr. Lobsang Sangay. His name itself means a kind hearted lion. He's the ex Prime Minister of the Tibetan Government in exile, the first Sikyong of the Tibetan Central Administration. He's studied in New Delhi, born in Darjeeling, has done his law at the Harvard Business School, and thereafter he's all over the world telling everyone and everything about Tibet and how it matters to the world. Welcome to you, Mr. Lobsang Sangay. What a pleasure it is to have you and Tashidelek.
Rashid and salute to you, Colonel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So we start straight away since we are, a little short on time, sir. We will begin firstly with our Honorable Prime Minister Modi's visit to Tianjin, which was there in the end of last month on the sidelines of the SCO summit. And we are also seeing, we are seeing and chronicling a lot of things, from Doklam. From Doklam, we've seen it all the way to Galwan. From there, we are seeing a couple of dams being built over there. We are seeing infrastructure coming up in Tibet. We are seeing, a lot of villages next to the, line of actual control in the Arunachal Pradesh area. Do you think this kind of a visit is going to be a very major thaw in the Indo-China relations? And how does this impact Tibet?
I have been on the record been saying this because, we always say this, if you want to understand China, you must understand Tibet. You don't
Right.
understand Tibet, you won't understand China, then China will take you for a ride. And if you want to go for a ride, go for a ride. But ultimately, you'll come and join our club, where Tibet is, Tibetans are, right? So we also had history in India. We had history of Hindi China bye bye, So, India keeps saying Hindi China bye bye, and then after few episode or two, China says bye bye nahi bye bye, and then after some time India goes back and says nahi nahi Hindi China bye bye, and then China says bye bye. We've been doing this from 62 war to 67 war to when at that time Atal Bihar Vajpayee was foreign minister. He visited China, and what did China do? Tested the nuclear bomb, Doklam happened, Galwan happened, and India and China was supposed to celebrate 50th anniversary events together, have 50 events in India, 50 events in China, and then Galwan happened, killed Indian troops, and recently America and India was coming, closer together, and Vice President of America was in India, and then the attack in Kashmir happened. So all these dhoka that India has experienced, and you can even we have 10 fingers, and you can count more than 10 fingers how many times China has betrayed you, betrayed India. So it's time we should learn lessons. And I hope Prime Minister Modi's visit is more of a tactical maneuvering. Army mein hota hai na tactical maneuvering, so that you can, have, send a message to Washington D.C. It seems to be working now. Modi is tweeting about Modi ji, and then Trump is tweeting about Modi ji, and Modi is tweeting back. And today, the Trump wish Modi ji about his birthday, and then they're thanking each other. So hopefully, the tactical maneuvering has happened. If it is a strategic shift, then I think we should learn lessons. For 60 plus years,
We
how
should.
many dhoka India has gotten? So it's time we learn.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that's well put. But Mr. Sangay, let me also, segue you to Xi Jinping. He
Hmm.
visited Tibet sometime in the early part of 2021. And lately, last month in August of 2025, I think the 21st of August, he was still again back in Tibet, where he, looked at a lot of other things in addition to, infrastructure, in addition to various other issues. He addressed a lot of people. So how do you see this, positioning of Xi Jinping visiting Tibet this time last month?
He is the only president of China who visited Tibet twice. That clearly
Absolutely.
shows. China's politics symbolism matters. So when a president of one country, China, visits one area twice, that means it's very important. Now, his visit to Tibet is Tibet, of course, Central Asia, but it's a message to India directly. In his first
Okay.
visit, he addressed the army present in Tibet. What did he say? Be prepared to fight a war. You must defend Himalayas, and then you must cross over Himalayas. You must prepare to war. And whole battalion and all the regiments, that China has as an asset in Tibet or on the Tibetan plateau. If you look at it, it's all targeted towards India. The main military base camp is Ningxi area. It's a military town, right? They have
Yes.
a military airfield, right? There are 30
Absolutely.
airports and 6 airfields, and Ningxi is one. Now look at Ningxi is what they're trying to connect. From Chengdu, they want to build railway line all the way and connect to Ningxi. They're building railway line all the way from Xinjiang and connect to Ningxi and Lhasa. And if you look at it's all across the Himalayan region. And Ningxi is right across where? Arunachal Pradesh. And I have been on the record being saying, if you look at Ladakh, if you look at Bhutan and Sikkim, if you look at Doklam, the preparation, once they came to Doklam, what they
Yes.
did, they built a helipad, they built a whole military setup there. But they're best prepared in Ningxi area. Now, to fight
Okay.
war, you need supply chain, railway line, highways, airfield, all in Yingchi, and they're targeting Arunachal Pradesh. I've been saying this because battles are won whether you have enough supplies or not, right? And
Yes, absolutely.
at the moment, they are best prepared in Yingxi, but across Arunachal, Indian infrastructure is still lagging. We barely have highway, you know, and we don't have airport. There's only helipad till Tawang, and then few helipads at the border. But they have an airfield, and fast train railway line, and major highways connecting that line. So I
Yes.
just feel, some say that Doklam happened because China also wanted to test. When the Chinese troops, 50,000 came to Doklam, India also pushed, and brought 50,000 troops. Then you have in number, you have same. Then China calculated and said, are we prepared or not? Then they realized, yes, we have highways. Now we will build Pakka military camp. But then they expedited the railway line from Xinjiang to come all the way to make sure that Chicken Neck, you know, where the Doklam is fully
Yes.
fortified. So
The
they're bringing
corridor.
railway line all across the Himalayan border. And
So
like
do
you
you
said,
think,
they have built 300 villages from all the way from Pakistan to
yes,
Kashmir inside LAC, at LAC, and outside of LAC, all the way to Burma. From every infrastructure development that they're making, they are targeting, India. And now the fact that they declared that they will build the biggest dam, bigger than Three Gorges
yes,
Dam on Yangtze. This dam is so big that they think it can supply electricity to 300 million families. Tibet has only 6 million families. We don't need any extra energy because we have surplus of energy. China is building the biggest dam. Now it's almost like they're saying, we dare you, India. We will build the biggest dam. We'll hold water. What can you do? Look at our infrastructure in Yingxi. We can not only defend it, in fact, we can move inside.
so are we looking at this kind of a energy being used for some data centers or something very important insofar
Absolutely.
as the energy part is concerned, sir?
Absolutely.
All right.
To yes, for AI
Right.
to progress, you need data centers. Data center means you have a very high speed computer. You know,
Okay.
faster the computer, you need more energy. And China has already 400 dams on Tibetan plateau. They are planning to build 200 more.
200.
And then the one, yes, and then the one in Brahmaputra, they have already built four. This is the fifth one.
That's correct.
Now, once you have that, China can generate 25% or 30% more energy with all these dams being built and solar energy and wind energy. So they want to say, faster the computer you have advantage over AI. So they
Yes.
want to take over. that AI economy and automation economy and surpass America. And to do that, you need energy, and Tibet has surplus of energy as far as hydropower is concerned
Of
and
course,
solar power
of
is
course.
concerned. Yes.
Of course. So, let me now move from, the parts of the line of actual control now to Nepal. We've seen how, Nepal has, turned a new leaf in the last fortnight, and there have been protests, and we've seen a lot of violence happening there. So my two questions to you is, do you see an external hand in this? That is one. And the second thing is there a paranoia now in Beijing after what has happened in Nepal that the same thing could happen in Tibet?
Yes and yes, there are external hands, but I think all the neighboring countries, including Western countries, they all put their hands. I don't think it's one particular hand that is the byproduct of it. It's a khichdi. But primarily
Right,
is the Gen Z, is the people frustration, that has
right.
led to the protest. So we must credit the youth of Nepal for this uprising and overthrowing
Okay,
not just one ruling party, but all the opposition parties as well.
all
But
of them.
yeah, all of them. But the lesson learned, we say Arab Spring, right? This is, South Asia summer because in July, the youth of Sri Lanka overthrew one party. And in July of last year, I think Bangladeshi youth
June.
overthrew June, they overthrew the ruling party. And in the summer of Pakistan, they are trying to overthrow military. They're supporting Imran Khan. That is not working. And also from Bhutan, a lot of youth are, going to Australia. This is a trend, right? So what it says is first in the global south, India included, in China included, there are 1.92 billion youth who need jobs. You don't give jobs, they overthrow you. It's a simple message. In China, 40% of college graduates don't have jobs, okay? That they become
Okay.
restless. So now, if it keeps going, now 40%, 50%, 60%, you're talking about tens of millions people. Now, this is a challenge for the global south. And no
Yes,
government can generate that number of jobs, right? So before
absolutely.
there used to be immigration, right? To America, America can take only 1 million. Europe can take 1 million a year. Arab countries can take 1 million a year. Maybe additional, some other countries can take ultimate 2 million. 5 million can go immigrate, right? The best and the brightest. But still, where do you get jobs for, 1,995 million youth? So what you see in the Nepal is a reflection of that. Youth asking for jobs, and and corruption is a reason, valid reason. But in Asia, generally, corruption is a relative term. Ruling party, opposition party is a relative term. But lesson learned from Arab Spring is this: we all are taught to remove dictators, but not replace them.
Hmm.
Hosni Mubarak was removed in Egypt. He's replaced by General Sisi. He's worse. In
Yes,
Tunisia, long-term dictator was removed. He's replaced by Said. He's worse. In
correct.
in Syria, now Assad is removed, but in his place, Mr. Mohammed, I think he has come. He also has Al Qaeda background. You don't know what is going to happen. Uh, um, Gaddafi was removed. Saddam Hussein
Of
was
course.
removed. But if you look at all these countries, Arab Spring did not lead to flowers blooming. It has led to a very strong winter of undemocratic system, internal turmoil in all these countries. So what you
Right.
see in South Asia is I hope is not a repeat of that. I hope what is
Oh,
happening in South Asia will learn lessons from Arab Spring, and they have removed autocratic or corrupt leaders. Hopefully, they can replace them and sustain a democratic, transparent, less corrupt government in these countries.
oh, excellent. That's a great view, Mr. Sangay. Now also, we saw last year, sometime in June, we saw the previous government in the United States. We saw Nancy Pelosi along with a big delegation coming and visiting the entire establishment at Dharamshala. And now we have the flavor of the season, Donald Trump, who's in power. which is more Republican than the Republicans, and now the previous government was a Democrat government. Do you find or do you feel that the entire focus towards Tibet is likely to undergo a change, or it's going to be status quo, or there's indifference, or it is going to be a little changing as time goes by?
At the moment, status quo,
Okay,
because Tibet issue is a bipartisan issue in Washington D.C. Both Republicans, Democrats, they all support.
okay,
It's part of, it's part of challenging China because China is directly challenging America, and they
okay,
say, okay, if you directly challenge us, then we will also, make our moves.
right,
And in 2020, we passed the Tibetan Policy and Support Act, which
yes,
was passed by the Republican Senate and Democratic House, signed by Donald Trump as the law. So he has
yes,
signed, which is a law in America to support Tibet. So
okay,
that is there. Having said that, the Secretary of State Rubio is sympathetic, and a lot of people in the White House and State Department are sympathetic and who knows about the issue of Tibet. So that way, I think it will go on. But President Trump is unique, so we must treat him in a unique matter. The way he has won election, the way he conducts things are very different. Previous presidents. So I keep saying, let him say what he has to say because he says a lot of things, and India has
yes,
to do what needs to do, say less and do more, and like Europe, cut your losses, make some gains, and have an agreement on tariff. South Korea did, and Japan did, and UK did. They all took whatever Trump is saying, but then quietly they went and signed the agreements and got it done. I hope India does it sooner because I'm a firm believer that India, being a largest democracy in the world, and America being also some say oldest democracy in the world, should align. Democratic countries should align and form an alliances because there are more non-democratic countries in the world than democratic
yes,
countries, right?
absolutely.
And the people as human beings, we need we are social animal. We need our freedom. We need our sanity. We need to breathe. And the Chinese world order is threatening. Chinese world order
Okay.
is threatening it. For example, what we are conversing now, if we were in Beijing or China, both of us will be in prison, right? But we are
Oh,
in India. We can say whatever we want. We can criticize, Indian government, Indian leaders. Doesn't matter. I know for sure I won't go to prison. You also you won't go to prison, right? So that is the difference between freedom-based world order, which is the present world order, and the Chinese world order, where they will curtail your freedom.
so the basic difference of the it's the civilizational construct of a global Chinese based world order, whereas we are more aligned towards a freedom based world order where we I think we'll thrive much more. Mr. Sangay, there are three major regions in Tibet. You have the Amdo, you have the Kham, and you have the Yusang. Each one of them historically so wonderfully enriched, so wonderfully endowed with history, culture, art, everything. But somewhere down the line, I don't see this being projected anywhere by a film, or by some kind of a social media stream, or by some kind of an advertisement, so that people know what Tibet is, what is the culture. Everybody just sees Tibet as a Potala palace, and they think that that's Tibet. So can we do something about that?
Yes, I've been saying Chinese are like octopus. They have so many tentacles. They try to be in hard power, soft power, including in movie making. Hollywood, right? A lot of movies are financed by Chinese, right? And then they
Right.
have Chinese actor acting in it. And that's why
Right.
anything anti-China or critical China are wiped out. Now, even in Bollywood also, so many actors endorse Chinese product, Chinese goods, Chinese brand, and then they don't talk about Tibet, right? So that's how they curtain. But exciting news is, there is a movie about His Holiness Dalai Lama, about his message of compassion and peace, which is being shown around. And I hope you will, invite the producer and the actor and interview them. And there's another movie called Four Rivers, Six Ranges, which is connected to army. This is the Tibetan militia, volunteer army, fighting against Chinese and provide security in the escape of His Holiness Dalai Lama to India. So these two movies are
Oh,
being,
wow.
yes, these movies being made, and then there are showing it, and I hope people in India will go and embrace and support both the movies, so that you, from His Holiness, you learn the ancient Indian wisdom of compassion and kindness and karuna and karam and dharam. You will get that. And from these four river six ranges, you will see how brave Tibetans were. Tibetans did fight against the
Right.
Chinese. We were
Excellent.
outnumbered. Other than bravely fought, hundreds and thousands died. So yes, we are more known as peaceful people, but we were also very brave, courageous, who shed their blood, like Subhash Chandra Bose said, for our country.
Oh, excellent. So we look forward to seeing them very soon, because see, a lot of people are not able to get the grasp of Tibet, because Tibet for India is also very sacred beyond a point. And, whether it is very, very sacred for the Chinese or anybody else is not a very, very major question to us, but it's very, very sacred for at least my country. So, there's excellent points. There have been a lot of change in geopolitics as we see in the region today. You mentioned about Pakistan, you mentioned about Sri Lanka, you mentioned about what happened in Bangladesh. Of course, there's been a small little wrinkle in Maldives. There's a little strife now in in Myanmar, which as we look at it, but with this changing geopolitics in this region, and I am a firm believer, sir, that Tibet is the Schwerpunkt. It is the center of gravity of Asia.
Mhm.
It's the roof of Asia. It's the roof of
Mhm.
the world, actually. So, how do you look at the Tibetan movement now with this changing geopolitics now in 2025? Because they're changing very rapidly.
Yes, I've been on the record now. Many of the media in India also quote me saying, the Chinese leaders in 50s said we occupy Tibet because Tibet is the palm, then we go after five fingers. Ladakh,
Okay.
Nepal, Bhutan, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. Right now, you can see from
Yes.
Doklam to Galwan, you can clearly see Arunachal Pradesh. They are coming out five fingers. And the next thing what they said is, once you occupy Tibet and five fingers, anyone who controls Himalaya will control South Asia. And that
Okay.
it yes, and that who those who control South Asia will control whole of Asia, because you have both Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal, right? Now that's the China's plan. So you want to come and influence whole of South Asia, and by being on Tibet, the roof of the world. So that's why they have this, the special economic zone in Pakistan, from Xinjiang through
Yes.
Balochistan all the way, and then they want to have through, Yunnan to Burma. They want to come to a seaport in Bay of Bengal, and once you do that, you have completely surrounded India. And that's how you control whole of Himalaya, and that's how you control South Asia.
So you think this is going to be likely in the next future,
No,
or
it's already happening. It's already happening. Yes. So they are building a highway, connecting from China to Yunnan to Burma to have a seaport, right? And from
yes, of course,
Xinjiang to Balochistan, they're building a huge seaport in Pakistan, so that in case of emergency, the oil supply, can be brought image from there to Xinjiang to inner China. And then now they have, in Sri Lanka, Hambantota seaport,
of course.
so
But
they
then-
have a
but
huge investment. Yes.
but in all of this, sir, my point is where does the Tibetan resistance or the Tibetans cause, does it undergo a change, or it remains absolutely as it was with the changing geopolitics?
No, that's if you look at, when I say Burma, Pakistan, Xinjiang, Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet sits right in the middle of it.
Middle of it,
People, not many,
yes.
yes, people, not many, people know this, but Tibet is as big as two-thirds the size of India. It's
Yes, of
2.5
course.
million square kilometers of land with
Kilometers, yes.
136 different kinds of minerals:
Yes.
uranium, borax, copper, gold, lithium, you just name it, all the minerals are there. Unfortunately, in 1940s and 50s, Indian leaders, believed and said, not even a grass grows in the land of Tibet. That's what they thought. So if you give up Tibet, we are not giving up anything. Now, suddenly, Tibet is seen and realized as this rich in critical minerals and hydropower and
Hmm.
strategic location. And you're from army. Whoever has the upper hand, whoever controls the upper top of the mountains has an advantage. You can see your adversary, all the movement, you have advantage. So that is the belief. So that's what they're doing. So Tibet is very important that way.
Right.
And then all the
Right.
four rivers, six major rivers flow from
Of
Tibet.
course.
So
Of
very
course. Of
important. It remains.
course.
The Tibetans, we know this. Now we've been saying it for 60 years. Finally, now even in our conversation today, more and more details are coming, and then thereby reflect the importance of Tibet.
Right, wonderful. So, I'll ask you the last question as we are both running out of time, and you have another engagement now, as we know. I'll ask you a question which is a little close to everybody's heart in India as well as Tibet and everywhere in the world. Do you really think China is going to meddle in the overall sensitive succession plan of His Holiness the Dalai Lama?
Yes, because they're meddling everywhere. They will meddle in the
Right,
affairs of reincarnation of Dalai Lama also. We use the word reincarnation, not succession. Succession when
right,
king dies, the prince succeeds, right? In this
right.
reincarnation, his own reincarnation is coming back, right? So they have no business at individual level. It is His Holiness Dalai Lama's choice where to be born, when to be born, and it's his reincarnation coming. No one can interfere. Not China, of course not. I know, not America,
Absolutely,
not Europe, not India, not even Tibetan
absolutely.
or the families. It's his individual
Yes,
personal choice, and we all should respect that. And I hope more and more Indians come to know about it. And then when China tries to interfere, meddle in it, we all must say you have no business in it. This
you
is
have
a
no
personal
business.
choice of His Holiness. This is a spiritual matter. This is a matter of faith, and this is decision. Whatever he decides, we all will follow. And he has decided to be born outside of China in a free
Absolutely,
world.
yes,
So we all
absolutely,
must respect his
absolutely.
decision.
Wonderful. What a pleasure it has been to speak with you, Mr. Sangay. And, all I wish you is good luck and keep doing the wonderful work that you're doing, whether it is back in India or whether you're traveling the world or whether, you are in the United States of America. And we look forward to connecting with you yet again sometime and ideating with you as to what can be the way forward insofar as the new geopolitics, the rapid churn which is happening insofar as the geopolitics of Asia and more importantly, Southeast Asia is concerned. Thank you very much for joining
Thank
us,
you.
and we wish you a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just finished my lectures in 13 universities in the last nine
My
days,
God.
including all
Right.
the media appearances. So I'm very grateful that people in India are interested and very supportive of the issue of Tibet. And our job is to create awareness and then educate them. And then I've been welcome all over. And thanks for inviting me to your show. And through your show also, we will reach out to more Indian brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Yes.